Huey Cobra, an advanced version of the AH-1B and the first truly integrated armed helicopter. In today's modern Army, air mobility has introduced a new dimension to combat operations. The AH-1 Iroquois is the backbone of this air mobile force, and the AH-1B the primary armed helicopter. Over the past several years, Bell Helicopter has steadily progressed in advancing the state-of-the-art of armed helicopters. In 1961, Bell conceived the AH-1 Warrior and developed a mock-up to study several concepts. Built around AH-1 components, the Warrior featured tandem seating configuration for better combat effectiveness, reduced drag for increased speed, and integrated weapon installations. A small wing carried external stores and improved high-speed maneuverability. In 1963, the concept was carried a step further through development of the Sioux Scout, a flying prototype incorporating Bell's advanced helicopter concepts. A streamlined tandem configuration improved crew effectiveness and increased performance. Small wings were used to carry stores and unload the rotor. The application of a chin turret provided a high degree of weapon flexibility matched to the visibility of the gunner. Built around the dynamic components of an OH-13S, the Sioux Scout demonstrated the value of combining a proven dynamic system with a mission-designed fuselage. Substantial improvements in performance, stability and control, weapon effectiveness, and tactical teamwork of the crew were evident. Over 80,000 rounds of ammunition were fired, while the Sioux Scout was extensively flown and evaluated for a year and a half by Bell and over 400 military personnel while testing weapon helicopter concepts. Results of the Sioux Scout program were of significant value to both Bell and the Army in advancing knowledge of the true weapons helicopter. In Vietnam, the Huey faced its severest test, actual combat. In its role as a troop transport and armed helicopter, it has become known as the hero of Vietnam. As the scale of conflict grew, the application of air mobility operations increased, and the AH-1 proved indispensable in the guerrilla warfare situation. While the AH-1 and the armed AH-1Bs in particular have seen heavy fighting, vulnerability has been remarkably low, only one loss being recorded for each 16,600 sorties. During the past 3 years of combat experience, however, it has become increasingly evident that a number of improvements in the armed helicopter are required. The paramount need is increased speed, then increased weapon effectiveness, greater weapon flexibility and ammunition payload, greater range, better maneuverability, improved visibility, and better passive defense to reduce casualties from typical combat damage. Meanwhile, Bell engineers pursued an extensive research and development program, laying the groundwork for the future. The Model 533 high-performance helicopter program, conducted under Army contract, provided the knowledge required in high-speed aerodynamics, stability and control, and dynamic load levels. This test vehicle is basically a AH-1B, with a wing to partially unload the rotor, plus the thrust of 2 T-69 jets. The 533 has achieved level flight speeds of 222 knots and has flown several different rotors. From this and other research and development rotor programs came the 540 door hinge rotor, the essence of simplicity. Now in full production for the AH-1B, the door hinge rotor combines a 27-inch chord blade with a flexible hub. This combination provides the breakthrough in low vibration, high speed, and high maneuver capability needed for an advanced armed Huey. The remaining task was for Bell to marry the 540 rotor to accumulated configuration and armament know-how in an optimum fuselage. Starting with a standard AH-1B, Bell engineers retained the standard 540 dynamics, including rotor hub and blades, mast, transmission, tail rotor drive system and tail rotor, plus tail boom and elements of the control system. A new forward fuselage and streamlined fairings completed the evolution of the Model 209 Huey Cobra. Next, Bell built one. Sleek, clean, the Huey Cobra combines existing AH-1B dynamics with a rugged structure, highly streamlined for maximum performance, a substantial increase in armament payload and effectiveness, plus built-in armor protection for crew and critical vehicle components. The Huey Cobra is designed to fly and fight at continuous speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour. Its maximum width has been reduced to a well-armored 36 inches, substantially reducing the vulnerable area. Combining this with the Huey Cobra's high speed promises far greater combat survivability. On a 50 nautical mile fire support mission, the Huey Cobra will take off with twice as much ammunition as a standard AH-1B, will arrive on target in about 1/2 the time, and can remain on target 3 times as long. Visibility for pilot and gunner is increased 50% over any side-by-side configuration. Tactical effectiveness and coordination are greatly improved because pilot and gunner have the same field of vision. For firepower, the Huey Cobra incorporates 4 wing store stations, plus a chin turret designed by the Emerson Electric Company, mounting a 7.62 millimeter high rate of fire minigun. The Huey Cobra retains the maintenance characteristics of its predecessors in the Huey series. Ease of access through large hinged cowling provides accessibility to the Lycoming T53L13 engine, the transmission and pylon. Huey-trained personnel can easily maintain and operate the Huey Cobra. It features almost complete spares interchangeability with current production UH-1Bs. The same tools and ground support equipment can be used. The pilot's cockpit provides complete IFR panel and all the standard UH-1 communication and navigation equipment. The gunner's compartment uses sidearm controls as a backup flight system, with a flex turret gun sight mounted between his feet. An armored windshield, plus seats fabricated of advanced armor material, afford improved crew protection. The ammunition bay, located directly behind the turret, accommodates 8,000 rounds of 7.62 ammunition on a sliding pallet, providing minimum reloading time. This new weapons helicopter combines exceptional engineering design, improved armament systems, better survivability, and optimum configuration. It has less than 1/4 the drag of the armed B, and better visibility than the Army's first reconnaissance helicopter. The Huey Cobra stands ready to join the modern Army air mobility team. Tactical transport of combat elements. Resupply to remote corners of the battleground. Medical evacuation for the sick and wounded. And special forces operations. In its role as an armed helicopter, the Huey has transformed air-mobile operations from a concept to a revolutionary form of land warfare. Its combat success, however, has also pointed to needed improvements. Increased armament payload, improved gunner visibility, and increased fire to the flanks. Also needed are greater speed and range and improved combat maneuverability. And the need for better protection for helicopter and crew is evident. Bell foresaw the growth of these requirements and pursued a thorough research and development program to provide the high-speed know-how in advance. What has now become essential in Vietnam had already become possible at Bell. The metamorphosis from Huey to Huey Cobra is based on one vital genetic link, commonality of the dynamic system. Blades, transmission, engine, and drive system were encased in a sleek, new, mission-designed fuselage, and the world's first integrated armed helicopter was born. The Huey Cobra is a balanced blend of aerodynamic efficiency and combat effectiveness. The fuselage, trimmed to 36 inches wide, provides a tandem cockpit configuration. The gunner forward and pilot in the rear arrangement affords maximum field of view and best team coordination. Its weapon system consists of an integral chin turret and external armament stores. Like all other Hueys, the Cobra offers extreme ease of access to its dynamic components. A mechanic trained on a bee can maintain the Cobra. The rear cockpit contains complete IFR avionics and communications equipment. For rocket fire control, the pilot is provided a modified Mark 18 sight. The co-pilot gunner controls the turret with a handheld sight. He also has sidearm flight controls. Both stations have armored seats. The gunner has the additional protection of a bulletproof windshield. The small swept wing can carry various combinations of external stores. 4 standard bomb shackles will carry, for example, 14 2.75-inch folding fin rockets, 28 rockets in XM-157 launchers, 38 rockets in XM-159 launchers, or a maximum load of 76 rockets. Alternately, XM-18 minigun, XM-13 40mm grenade launchers, mines, smoke, or fuel could be carried. Less turnaround time, and in particular rearming time, is needed for the Cobra. "8,000 rounds of 7.62 ammunition can be loaded into the ammo bay directly behind the turret. The Cobra fire control provides a dual firing rate for the minigun. 800 rounds per minute for probing or registry fire, and 4,000 rounds per minute fire for effect. The Emerson turret traverses 230 degrees in azimuth and provides elevation of 21 degrees and depression of 50 degrees. In combination with its fantastic firepower, the Cobra provides an increased degree of passive defense. Advanced armor materials integrated with the airframe structure protect crew and vital components. Self-sealing fuel tanks and vithane coating on critical fluid lines minimizes the vulnerability of the Cobra. Survivability is further enhanced by the speed of the Cobra, up to 170 knots in level flight or 190 knots dive speed. As an escort, the Cobra employs a 50% speed advantage over the convoy, a tactical capability of significant benefit, permitting the Cobra to detach, proceed ahead of the convoy, and soften up the landing zone just prior to arrival of troops. The assault itself has become a modern classic of land warfare. The escort Cobra marks the selected landing zone, reports enemy activity and desired approach direction to the main force. During the brief period when the troop carriers are on the ground, The Cobra provides suppressive